What's up guys, this is Void of Dust Gaming, your channel for fresh Arena of Valor content. And today I've got some Tulen for you. And if you take Doise's tier list, who is one of the only competitive tier lists that we've got in the game right now, you will see that he doesn't rank Tulen as one of the best mages in the game. You can play Tulen as a jungler, I guess, but most of the times you will find him on the mid lane. And I had a hard time to really get to know what Tulen is all about. Like, I think the first 20 games I was struggling with him, and today I just wanted to give you some kind of overview how I play Tulen, what my tips for Tulen are to make him work, how he functions, and you might have read this in the thumbnail already. It's all about the passive, and we will talk about this with some actual gameplay. But I would say, first of all, let's check out the build that I'm using with him. And in terms of the armory or the items, whatever you want to call them, you will see that we are focusing on most of the times damage. That means we just have damage item. There's nothing in the build that is gonna say we need more armor or we need some magic resistance or something like that. So for example, that would be Barriers Agony is one of the classic items that you want to have if you are a mage and you are going to go into some fights. But in this term, we are going to maximize the damage. We've got two items for utility in here. That's Rhea's Blessing. That's more of a sustain item because we will get some lifesteal with it, some magic lifesteal, and we've got the Arctic Orb, and that is the same that we are using in the enchantment section. So we've got double the effect from the Arctic Orb, and otherwise we're going in with the Boomstick, and we are trying to maximize our magic pierce with the Lost Secrets or Evil Secrets, however it's called. That said, I continue this kind of path in my Arcana build. Of course, level 3 Arcana, I already mentioned that in one of my German videos. You should always use the level 3 because it's basically the best. Otherwise, you're going to minimize your damage output in this term. We're going with ability power 66, magic pierce is increased by 88, we've got some magic lifesteal in there, and attack speed coming from the last rune. And talking about the runes, we've got 10 times violate here for the really nice ability power increase and the magic pierce. Then we're going with devour to have some additional ability power in there and some magic lifesteal that's gonna stack up with Rhea's Blessing, so we've got even more magic lifesteal. And here I'm taking flurry over hex because I want that 64 points of magic pierce, and the attack speed is always quite nice because you are going to attack a little bit faster. Enchantment wise, we are going with a full damage slash some utility build here, and I think it's gonna kind of complement the whole build that we've set up so far. We've got the Axe of Sacrifice in there, we have the Holy Verdict for some additional magic pierce, so even more magic pierce, and I have chosen Holy Thunder because the next normal attack or ability that hits an enemy hero deals additional damage, and that's really, really nice because as soon as you unleash your passive, you will have a really nice trigger for that. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to pull it off with other mages, but in this case, as we're going to recycle or cycle, not recycle, cycle our passive all the time, your passive should always be up and running. This is gonna cause Holy Thunder to work. Of course, it's got a little cooldown, but we're trying to maximize our passive effect by going in with Holy Thunder. And in the second path, the League of Humans, we've got, as I said, Mark of the Frost. That's gonna be the same effect as Arctic Orb because you might be in a tower dive position and sometimes you will find yourself in the middle of the battle, and that's when you press that lovely button and you will be standing like a statue, but no harm will be caused to you while you're doing so. And we're using Gunslinger to boost our stats a little bit and have a really nice rounded build. If you like this kind of content, subscriptions are really, really enjoyable for me because I'm on the path to 1,000 subscribers. That is my goal for 2021. So if you like this kind of content and you find the subscription button, I would be super happy. Likes are always appreciated as well. But of course, if you didn't like the video, put the thumbs down in it and write me a comment why you didn't like it. And if you liked it and you find yourself in a thought process, then just hit the comments and tell me what you think about Tulen, tell me what you think about my videos, and it's always a pleasure to have new watchers on my channel. So without further ado, I would say let's start with some gameplay and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye bye. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to show you the first minute of the game or the first loading screen because it's not really that necessary. Let's focus on the game instead. As I'm taking Gilded Greaves as my first item, it's kind of like the staple because you want to have that additional crowd control reduction and you want to have the speed. Tulen is all about getting speed, getting to the point that he really needs to be in and to unleash his abilities. And I'm going to explain them in a short while, but let's get that Wonder Woman first, and we get First Blood. What a nice intro to a video for YouTube. My Quillen game wasn't that good because otherwise today it would be Quillen. I had so much fun playing Quillen lately, but today it was not meant to be, so the game was horrible, and I said to myself, oh my god, I need a new video for YouTube, and here we go. I picked Tulen randomly. I just felt like Tulen. Today I had a strong Tulen connection. Okay, so we've got Tulen, who is a sort of mage / assassin type of person. He's got a strong harassing phase, like he can poke enemies quite hard with his little shiny passive bolts, and he is a good finisher with his ult, but you need to get the hang of how Quillen works in order to make him work. And as I said, I had a really big struggle playing Tulen. This video isn't exceptional good, like it's not a 17:10 video that as a spoiler to start with, but I think it showcases how good Tulen is right now, and I think that I can tell you a little bit more about how I use him. And this is not like a guide for pro players or some advice for people who have played 1,000 games on Tulen, and I'm talking in my video and they will be like, oh Void, you said something that I didn't know before. So this is more of a video for players who have played Tulen before but might find him quite difficult to play, and I have to admit he's not the easiest mage to play with. We've got a lot more easy press the button mages, and the problem with Tulen is that Tulen works all around his passive. If you are not using his passive in the very right way, you will struggle to unleash his full power. And I can see what most of the people will think afterwards. They will think Tulen is super weak. That was the problem that I had when I was playing Tulen. I had the feeling that I had little to no impact on the game, and especially on fights, because I didn't use his passive. I was just using his spells, not even those in a really good way, and I had the feeling that my impact on the game was like I wasn't there. That was the first impression that I had in the first 10 or 20 matches. I played him a lot in 3 versus 3 because that's usually the surrounding where I try out new characters in order to get to know them. A little bit complicated with junglers, but mages work fine on the valley. But in this case, I was hard stuck. I guess I was hard stuck until I discovered how to use the passive. So let's talk about the passive first, just to get you on board that we're all on the same page. Your passive is basically something that's gonna stack up, and you will have some marks indicating the level of these steps just below your mana bar. So you've got your health bar, the green one, you've got your mana bar, the blue one, and then below that you've got 4 marks, and they will be in white. As you can see, we just received 3 marks in total, and if the 5th mark is accomplished or the 5th mark is generated, you will see what's happening right now. This kind of circle-ish thing, yeah, this one, and this is gonna unleash stuff into the next enemies with your target prioritization. So if you have prioritized that the enemy with the littlest amount of HP in percentage is the one that seems to be the target, then this is going to be applied. And if it's just kind of like the straight down number, that would be applied to the targeting of your little bolts. Let's call them bolts. I think it's called bolts, but I don't know the exact term, so I want to call them bolts. These bolts are really, really strong, and it's basically the bread and butter. So your overall achievement is to stack up these marks in advance, and then you're going to unleash them whenever you need them. That is going to fuel up your wave clear by 1000 times, and it is your key thing on fighting team fights, because you will stack them up, you will use them, you will stack them up, and you will use them. The good thing about Tulen's passive is that it can be replied multiple times. There is no cooldown or any such thing like that. So as you can see, we have 3 balls left, and we are already generating another set of marks, even while we are still going to unleash these bolts. So this is really, really powerful, and it is what makes Tulen so strong. So how do we get those marks? These marks are only accomplished if you're using your spells. So you can't auto attack, you can't kill monsters or something like that. The only thing that you will have on getting marks is basically hitting stuff with your spells. And you've got the first spell, these kind of like a trident that you're gonna unleash into the enemy. And what you want to do is to stand as close to a target as possible, because that just means if every single bolt hits, you will get 3 stacks in total, or 3 marks in total. And if you're then using your second ability, you will unleash your passive immediately. So it takes only 2 spells, your first spell and your second spell, in order to make your passive work. It's super important because that's what determines on how you position yourself. You will always want to try to position yourself in a very good manner so that you're close to an enemy and you will get the maximum amount of bolts from your first spell, and then afterwards what you want to do is hit your second spell. And here's some tip for you. You want to jump over enemies with it. You are not gonna jump next to them. You want to try to jump over them, and you want to do that with minions, or you want to do that with heroes such as these in the very fight we're seeing right now. So you want to use that to travel from one side to the other side, and you want to make sure that there's a target in between the point of origin and the point where you're going to teleport yourself to, because that is going to maximize the number of stacks. And if you can manage to get 2 or 3 minions in that, you will have suddenly the impact of your passive triggered, and you will deal massive amounts of damage, and you can then repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, and that is going to get you fueled up to a damage dealing machine. You're just gonna put out passives all over the place, and the longer the game goes and the more spells and the more upgraded your spells become and the more upgraded your stuff gets, like your equipment, the better it is, the more damage you're going to deal. And this is the beauty of Tulen. That's basically how you play him. Something that I want to mention about the ultimate, I'm using the ultimate here most of the times as some kind of blocking thing. I want to threaten enemies. Usually you would like to ensure that your ultimate is hitting something and killing it, because that means that you can use it a little bit quicker than before. So this is going to be your main point, but I would say let's focus on getting the passive done first, and then afterwards you can just focus on getting your ultimate right. But your passive should be your main focus. If you want to master Tulen, you need to focus on the passive, and you need to unleash the passive, and it's gonna help you a lot in team fights, if you mark my words. And this is like, that was the example. You are going to traverse through the enemies from one side to the other, and that means that you're going to maximize your stacks or your marks or whatever. I should have called them stacks and not marks, because now I'm messing things up. So that's Tulen. Something else that I have discovered which really helps me a lot with Tulen is not to upgrade his items to the fullest. So what I would rather do is I would rather go for the Spoopy Mask, and then I'm going for Vlad's Impaler, and if I completed both and the shoes, then I'm going to upgrade the Boomstick. And after I did that, I'm going to upgrade into the Diadem, and if I've got all of that sorted, then I'm going to finish the Evil Secrets, and then I'm going for Rares, and then I'm going for Arctic. And if I know that I will Tower Dive, I'm going for the Mark of the Arctic Orb beforehand. That's my prioritization. And that's all there is about Tulen. Like, look at that. I even killed the Abyssal Dragon when I wasn't intending to do anything with that dragon. That comes from the passive. That's how good the passive is. It's the passive. Tulen is a passive mage. It's all about the passive. And if you are not using your passive correctly, or if you are not using it to its full potential, you will always have the feeling that you should have picked another mage, a more easier mage. Natalia, maybe even Maganga. Natalia, Maganga. Everyone is stronger than him because he needs a combo sequence to work properly. And if you don't get it right, that is going to cause a lot of commotion and a lot of problems. So this is going to be, your mindset is all about the passive. The passive is your key to victory. I can't stress it enough. And what I really like about him, like that was a super luck shot by Valheim, that he triggered the glaive that was exploding and dealing area of effect damage, because otherwise we would have made it out alive, ladies and gentlemen. That would have been the case. What I really like about Tulen is that he has the full package. Yes, he's super squishy, but he is a mage. He doesn't sport any armor or anything like that. So he's super squishy, but he got a tremendous amount of damage on the one hand, and he's got super high mobility on the other end. And as you can see in my loadout, I'm playing him with Flicker on top of those 3 activations that you do get from the second spell, and the second spell has been buffed. I'm just laughing at Vera because she made a stupid mistake and now she's blaming someone else and she's swearing a lot, and I can't stand people like that. It's a game. If you are going to rage, or if you are annoyed, or if you are angry, yes, it's fine, but why are you calling people out? That's so unnecessary and it ruins the experience for everyone. It's just not necessary. You just don't need to do it. Position-wise, I would always go and play him as a sort of finisher, as I already said. Like, I would try to focus on getting my team across the board, let them engage, and then afterward, if the fight is going on in a full manner, that is the time when you want to jump in, when you want to unleash your mage stuff, and then you can just gather the pieces that your team has been starting. So I would not, if I was you and you want to play Tulen, I would not start the fight. I would not be the initiator. I would always be second line, because that's what works best. Otherwise, you are not gonna have a happy time. You will die because you are so super squishy. And what the problem is, and that's a problem that most of the mages have. Most of the mages have a dash, and it's dealing damage. So you want to use that, you want to capitalize on that, you want to use it to the full extent, and that is something that you need to kind of worry about, because most of the times you've got one single dash, and that's kind of like, should I use it for defensive purposes? Because most of the times that's the only way that you can escape something. That was lucky again, like if she, yeah, whatever. So the good thing about Tulen is he has 3 of them. So he's got 3 dashes. I mean, yes, the distance travel is not super large, but you've got 3 of them, and the cooldown in between of the intra cooldown between those spells when they can be reactivated has been reduced to 1 single second. So you've got it ready all the time, which means you can travel a huge distance, like teleport, flicker, and you will be across the board. So that's really, really good about him. It's the first point. And the second point is you don't need to worry about it. Like, you can use the first to engage if the fight is already taking place, and then you can use the second one to reposition yourself, and then you've got still a third one left if the fight goes on completely horrible, your team messed up, you messed up, everyone messed up, and then you can still use it as some kind of escape mechanism to just reposition yourself and kind of, I don't know. You can even travel through walls with that. That's always a huge thing. Like, I remember the time when Wisp wasn't able to use the wall jump. She was just dashing right into the wall. That was being super stupid. And this is gonna help you a lot because you are just super mobile. You can reposition yourself using it. Just don't see it as the single source of damage. Yes, I said it is the thing that's gonna help you with the damage. So that's something that you need to pay attention with. That you always have 1 or 2 ready because you want to use it for the damage, but on the other hand, it is something that you can use to escape a fight, and that's really something, and that's really helpful. So always keep 1 activated and 1 ready for activation, because that's just something that you want to use. And that's basically all I can say about Tulen. Like, I know that this game wasn't perfect. I don't know, I don't really have a really good sort of streak at the moment. I find it kind of hard to get into Arena of Valor and play really good games, and that's because I can't really spend that much time for it. So usually it's just 1-2 games every other day. It's not even every day, so I've got 1 or 2 games every other day, so I don't really get into the game flow. So producing videos is actually quite hard at the moment, because I struggle to get this cool video that I really want to showcase how to play things correctly. So this is gonna be a 6-4 video or something. I mean, if you have already watched 16 minutes, I can already spoil my results. So this is gonna be a 6-4, something like that. Yeah, it's not one of the crazy games, but I think one of the showcases is that we're talking about Tulen, how to play Tulen correctly, and I hope that you guys will have something. I hope you guys do learn something from that game. Beautiful. This is what I said. Like, I killed him, and right now I can immediately use the ultimate after 2 seconds. I think the cooldown was reduced to 3 seconds or something like that, so that's huge. Your ultimate deals a lot of damage, but keep in mind that it can be blocked. So if you're unleashing it onto a target, and there will be this kind of like marker that's indicating that there's a certain target that needs to be hit, an enemy can just stand between you and the target that you have been chosen to, choosing, and the shot will be blocked by that buddy. So an enemy tank can always interfere if you want to hit the AD carry, for example. You should always keep that in mind. So the game is looking actually really good. 22 versus 17. I think that's a pretty good result. Game was a back and forth all the time, and I think we contributed in a good way, to put it optimistically. So we did good. Not great, not crazily. We did not dominate the game, but we had our part. 4 kills out of 22. That means we are not really on par, but now we've got the 6th kill, and that's a double kill, and that was quite important, because I think that put us in the position to really just dominate the team right now, the enemy team, and go for the win. Yeah, that's actually what I want to say. Not deserved win, guys. Just don't do it. 12 years, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. But I was a little bit too slow. This kind of behavior is something that really pisses me off. I just don't understand this kind of stuff. Just leave it to yourself. Like, who's gonna participate in some bullshit like that? Okay, so Yon, really good. I think Tulen is still one of the better mages. He's got great mobilities, he's got great damage. That's something that you can work with. As you can see, 649 for me, 9.5. That was the 2nd best result after Yon and the really strong Grug lane. And detail-wise, I think I did 2nd most damage, 24.9%. So I did get a lot of assists and not so many kills, but that's fine. 3rd highest participation, and that's basically about this. Yeah, it's late and I need to get this started. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a nice evening. Bye bye.